And I cannot but doff my heart and say, there are women and there are women. Please help me make welcome my boss. All right. And she's currently in charge of a region, the mainland region, one of the mainland regions of one of the most prestigious banks that has metamorphosed into GTCO, an international organization. Please help me welcome Uduak Ayeni. Thank you so much for coming back.
I call him Pastor G. Pastor G, that's a serious hype. I said I will start by a disclaimer, and the disclaimer is that I'm not yet a billionaire, but I'm getting there. Amen. Yes. So like Benga said, we are, aspiring billionaires. It means that we need to, imbibe what the billionaires are doing. Whether you like it or not, when somebody gets something right, find out what that person is doing to get that thing right. But the person is definitely doing something well to get it right and repeatedly get it right. So I'm pleased to be here with all of you. And when he sent me this topic, I was a bit taken aback. I was wondering to myself what I was going to talk about exactly. But so what I did was that I just stayed on how small businesses can manage their cash flow and all that. So that's simply what I'm going to talk about. And I'm not just going to talk about that, I'm going to share practical experiences with you, being a small business owner myself. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'll just talk about what is cash flow and cash management as in respect to your business. Why is cash flow important to your small business? And 9 ways to manage your cash flow as a small business person. Coincidentally, I would like to say that I did not sit down and have a business plan and say, this is how I'm going to run this business. I will establish a business and I'll go through this process. I would like to say that the business I run today, aside from my work, is totally and completely given to me free of charge by God. I did nothing. I didn't write any business proposal. I didn't do anything. But I would like to say that it's important that you always seek God's direction in all things. And it was from consistently asking God a question to say, show me this, show me this, show me this. There has to be something I can do after banking. There has to be something else that can bring me as much money and more than, what I'm earning. There has to be something. But all these accounts that we see bringing money, where are they bringing it from? They are bringing it from somewhere. So there has to be something. It was just from consistently saying that prayer that, it started completely as a joke, and God opened my eyes to see that there is something here. You can actually make money from here. I never knew that was a possibility. And I'm just making people laugh. First and foremost, as an Ibibio woman, you don't buy food. You cook food. So first and foremost, it never occurred to me that people buy soup from you. For instance, in my mind, everybody cooks their soup. People don't buy soup. So that it was even a possibility that somebody can buy a pot of soup from me, it never occurred to me that happens. Because in my mind, everybody cooks their soup. You don't buy soup. So every day when I get orders, I'm shocked that people actually don't cook their soup, that they buy the soup. So, yes. So, I just want to say that there are many things around you right now that you're not even aware of that will bring you a lot of money. Lots of things around you. So I pray for everyone today that God will open your eyes to those things that are around you, those things that you have already that can produce what you need. So that's my prayer for everyone today. Okay, what is cash flow? Cash flow is basically the money that is moving in and out of your business. That's basically what cash flow is. The money that is moving in and out of your business. And cash flow can either be positive or negative. Positive or negative. A positive cash flow means that you are earning more than you spend. I'll explain what I mean. For instance, we get an order for 220,000. What I spent to execute that order and deliver is 80,000. So it means that I've been able to retain 220 minus 80, right? I've been able to retain, that's 140. You know, that's what I mean by spending less than you are getting in. So that's a positive cash flow. So I've been able to retain 160 out of 220. That's what I mean. And proper cash flow management is a key strategy to every business owner. I'm going to use a typical example of what happened to everybody, especially those who were in the event management space when COVID happened. Everything was locked down. That was the first thing that happened. So imagine someone whose business was small chops. Pardon me, because I'm in the food business, those are where my examples will come from. Imagine someone who does small chops, and you know small chops are really party things. You don't find lots of people who just sit down and say, I want to order small chops. Not a lot of people do that. You find it mostly in business, party settings. That's when you get those orders. So imagine that there was a lockdown, no parties were allowed, nothing was allowed. And after a while, people had to start thinking of how do I survive? Because the business is a day, would I say day-to-day kind of thing, is in you make the money today, you spend what you make. That's what we're talking about now. Not making and spending every single thing that you make. So it was difficult. I'm just using them as an example, but basically for event space, it was a terrible time for every single person. Big, huge caterers. I mean, big caterers who would charge you minimum, as at 2019, who would charge you, say, 3,500 a plate. They all started cooking soup for people because they could not afford to even survive. Was a problem. Doctors of pay anybody. So this is what we're emphasizing on in terms of cash flow. It's important for your business to generate cash, and then we're going to get to other things and the importance of that generating cash. Now, the CEO of a small business loan provider, Rohit Arora, said something. He said that while businesses can run on cash and accrual basis, every business has to take advantage of both. Every business has to take advantage of both. Now, cash and accrual means that somebody is owing you. It may not apply to my own business, because how do you recover food money that somebody has eaten? It's not easy to recover food money that somebody has eaten. But there are other things that, other businesses that have accruals. meaning that their monies that people are owing you, or they pay you like monthly, maybe a retainance fee, and they pay you monthly. So it's important that you have those kind of things, something that generates money for you on a monthly basis, on a regular basis, and then the cash that comes in daily from your general business. Now, why is cash flow important to a small business? I was talking about that earlier, why cash flow is important to a small business. If you are not generating enough cash, there are many things that you're not going to be able to do in your business. There are many things you will not be able to do. You can't pay small bills, small things will be a problem for you to pay. You won't be able to pay your rent. You can't invest. You cannot sustain your day-to-day business operations. I'll give you a typical example. Like I said, pardon me, my examples are going to be mostly from, my own space. You have a major order to deliver food at a certain time. And the next thing, NEPA takes light, water finishes, you can't pump water. And you've run out of, you've used every cash available. There's no money to buy petrol. Please tell me, how are you going to deliver that food and collect the balance of your money? That's impossible. So it means that it is extremely important that you sustain and maintain as much cash as you can. Cash flow is important to a small business because it shows how much money is actually moving in and out of your business. It is an important measure of your business health. A measure of your business health. Let me explain what I mean by measure of your business health. I was talking about what happened during COVID. Many people, because something like COVID had never happened. In fact, until COVID happened, nobody went backwards to see if anything like that had ever happened in the world. It was only when it happened we realized that 100 years prior, it had happened. But time had passed so much that history didn't record it again. No one was talking about it again. So people did not know that that kind of thing can happen, such that it's a total shutdown. For us, it was like the world was coming to an end. But if we also do not sustain that history, another 60 years, those people would forget. We will not be here again, most likely. 60 years added to my age, I'll be 100 and almost 110. So, I definitely won't be here. I don't even want to be here again at that time again. So, if it's not sustained, people will forget that those kind of things can happen. But most people were doing cash and carry. You get the money today, you spend it. Because tomorrow's own is assured, in quotes. It was assured. There was never a time where, you will not get any money. It was not, no one, thought that it was possible for you not to have a shutdown of what? It's not something you could comprehend. What are we shutting down? It wasn't comprehensible, So, it is important that, so what I was talking about, your business health. So there are lots of people who had no reserve, zero reserve. So the first thing is that they could not pay their staff. If you could pay month 1, by month 2, it was a problem to pay. My business had just started October of 2019 when COVID hit. So I had paid month 1, but by month 2, I knew that we were going to have a problem. There was no way we were going to be able to pay if I didn't do something. And of course it was locked down and all that, and I was operating from home at the time. And I said to my husband, listen, either you give me money to pay my staff, or I have to take orders and cook. People are calling and saying, will we not eat because there's lockdown? And he said, what exactly is the plan? And I said, okay, I have a plan, and my plan is that I'm going to do a promo and gather everything in. My calculation is that this promo will pay everybody's salary. And he said, are you sure? I said, yes. That I just need to advertise a week in advance. But I am sure that if I get 15 orders, I'm going to be able to pay the salaries. And I did the mathematics for him. And he said, okay, fine, do it. And we got 22 orders. So not only was I able to pay everybody's salary, I kept a reserve for the next month because we didn't know how it was going to go. And I said to him, if the lockdown still does not, I have to do the same thing again next month. And so that's just to show that, the business was young. So of course we were far from healthy. We were far from there. But the point I'm making is that you have to think of the fact that anything can happen when you have a business, so that you're unable to operate that business for a while. If that thing happens, can you stay afloat for some time? So it is important that no matter how it is, keep a reserve. The reserve may even be something that will help you kickstart the business again, because you finish your capital, but you need something to start again. So you must never ever finish everything that comes into you as cash or accruals. I already talked about the fact that cash is important to your business, because without cash you cannot pay your bills, you cannot purchase inventory, you cannot pay your rent, neither can you invest in the future of your business. I want to talk about that, investing in the future of your business. I'll use another example out of mine. During COVID, all of a sudden, there was an opportunity for a business, and that was selling nose masks and hand sanitizer. Did you people pay attention to that? Yeah. All of a sudden, you could sell hand sanitizers and nose masks. You could not enter anywhere anyway without a nose mask. You could not enter anywhere without a nose mask. So it was important at that time. People I knew who were doing other things immediately diverted the money they had and started importing, looking for how to import, nose masks. And when by the time I realized that, oh my God, that was such a big opportunity, it was too late for me to go and do the same thing, because the market was already flooded by that time. Yeah. But it was a huge opportunity, But yes, so I'm saying that people who had cash were able to take that decision immediately. They saw the opportunity, they were able to take the opportunity immediately, because the other businesses they had that opens daily could no longer open. They just diverted their monies. So while other people were crying and moaning, they were fine. In fact, not only were they fine, they made mega money from, they cashed out from just taking that decision. So that's what I mean by it is very important, extremely important, that you must always have a reserve of cash from whatever business you do, because opportunities will come like that. Opportunities will come and you can easily divert. without a positive cash flow, you cannot sustain your day-to-day operations. You cannot. There was December, many people want to just relax. They don't want to spend the time cooking. So the orders are huge. The orders are huge. So you need to be prepared in advance. Fortunately for us, I will not use unfortunately. Fortunately for us, we have just gotten a space, our own space to cook and all that. So I've spent money, rent, generator, repainting and all that. And then I had to stock up. At a point, I had zero money. Zero money. And that really, shook me, like, how did I suddenly get there? Because I thought I was in a healthy position, in quotes. But I obviously underestimated what was healthy enough. I underestimated what was healthy enough. And we suddenly did not have cash. So by the time our first order came in, I had to actually borrow money. Not borrow money per se, I was borrowing money from myself, but I had to take from my salary to do it. But the question is, what if I didn't have the salary? So, for the purpose of this talk, let's assume that we don't have a salary. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Let's assume that there is no backup. For me, I had a salary, so it was easy for me to borrow the money and execute the first one. So, but I didn't have any money left by the time we had the first order. Now, even though I said that food is not recoverable, we have certain clientele that you can't start harassing them for money. They won't understand. What's wrong with you? I'll pick the money now, I've made the order now. So you go into the order, you make the order. The order, your payment will definitely come, maybe before delivery, but you can't wait to receive the money first. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that for the purpose of what we're talking about, let's assume that there is no other means. Would have been a major issue for us. Because that's a big customer that we had. His order is for his house, so he's not doing party. It was 230-something thousand. So, how do we resolve that issue? That's not the kind of customer that says, you have to settle the money first. You can't say that. So, it's extremely important that without cash, you can't sustain your day-to-day operations. And your business cannot grow. For as long as you cannot sustain your day-to-day operations, there is no way your business can grow. It won't grow. You have to be able to sustain your day-to-day. I'm going to my next slide, and that is, how do we manage our cash flow? The first thing is that don't wait to send invoices or demand payment for them. As I was sitting here, it occurred to me that a delivery we made yesterday, I hadn't seen the alert for that delivery. Yes, I haven't seen the alert for that order, which means that she hasn't paid me yet for it. Then I looked at the time. I said, well, she's probably not even awake. I'm not sure I would like it if I wake up and see, Madam, I'm still waiting for that money. So I said, okay, I'll leave her till noon. If by the time I finish here, I don't see the alert, then I'm actually going to call her that, you finish eating the food, how far now? So, yes, so even though, like I was saying, even though you have important clientele, they need to understand that that money is important for your books. So you must always find a nice way to demand for money. My worst orders usually are at the end of the month, because for the purpose of your business, you must always be able to close your sales for the month and know exactly what you got. And you find lots of people who place orders on the last day of the month. Those people, I don't answer you if I don't see the alert. Because I want to close my books. I want to also pay my staff and know exactly what we earned for the month. So do not be afraid to demand for the money. It's important to you. Remember that you're going to start a new month, and you also need to stock up for the new month. Because the more efficient you are in your business, the more your business grows. People like efficiency, whether you like it or not. There's nobody in this world that does not appreciate efficiency. Nobody. There's nobody that does not appreciate efficiency. So go and compare. What makes one business grow more than the other? You will always find out that efficiency is one of them. One person is more efficient than the other. Just check. One person is more efficient than the other. Adjust your inventory as needed. Identify items that are not selling well and stock less. I have something on my menu that is 45,000 for, that's the minimum order. And it took me a while to understand that stocking what I require for that was not a good idea. Even though it is, I earn more on the long run if I buy in bulk for it. But the problem was that it took a while to sell it. So why lock down the money waiting for it? So I have to take a decision that I have to, which one is better for me? Lock down money that I can use for other things, or earn less and get my money immediately. It's a decision you have to take. There is a final, you have to do a mathematics to that, because what pays you better? But as the business grows bigger and you have more cash flow, it might be easier for you to stock it and wait for the order to come. So for me, I no longer do that. I wait for that order to come. When it comes, then I buy and we do it. That's what I do now. So what I've done is to create an efficient way of receiving what I need on time. So I go to a specific place to buy the things I need. So once my order comes, I call them and say, I'm going to send a dispatch rider to pick it up. So that way, I will still deliver on time, but at least my money is not tied down, Lease your equipment instead of buying it. Now, Petras will tell you this. Plates change year to year. Presentation changes year to year. So if you want to buy every new plate, every new chafing dish, every new you will be tying down a lot of money. Instead, it is easier for you to hire than to buy it and keep. Of course, it took me a while to realize that you shouldn't do that. Now, I look at some plates, I can no longer use them because it's outdated in quotes. Nobody is using those type of, now everybody uses strictly white. Then the white, this one will be triangle, this one will be square, this one will be rectangle, this one, all sorts of shape. Don't give yourself headache. Anything that is available to hire it. But you must also consider what is the cost of that thing. What is the cost of that thing? Example, you just started tailoring business. Don't go and buy a weaving machine. It's not yet time to buy a weaving machine. It is better to invest more in a sewing machine and go somewhere else and weave. As your business is growing and the demand is bigger, then you may have to buy a weaving machine, because then you cannot afford to be going somewhere to go and weave. You will not meet up your timeline. So then it might be time to go and buy the weaving machine. But you cannot start the business and say, okay, I'll buy weaving machine, I'll buy sewing. No, it doesn't work that way. I'll buy stoning machine, I'll buy beading. No. You start from the most essential items and then you move on to the ones that are big ticket items. Borrow money before you need it. I want to talk about this borrow money before you need it. My own line of business may not really need me to borrow money per se. But I want to say that borrowing money is not only from a bank or a financial institution. This is a mistake that many business owners make. As a young person who has an idea or a business that you want to start, you don't try not to borrow money from a bank or a financial institution. Instead, have you heard of crowdfunding? You've heard of crowdfunding. It's a cheaper way to get money. That's number one. Number two, guess what? Your relatives are crowdfunding other people. Your relatives are borrowing other people money, but they are not borrowing you. The question is why? Why is the way you ask. The why is the way you ask for the money. That's the why. You just come and say, Uncle, there's this business I'm trying to do. I just need 100,000. Really? You just need 100,000. You know how difficult it is to make 100,000. Now I just dash you 100,000. It's the way you are asking for the money. Instead, say, Uncle, please, I need to talk to you about something for 5 minutes. And say, write a proposal. You're not going to read it, but the proposal is to give you how you want to say, Uncle, I have this business idea. Auntie, I have this business idea. If I do this, and this, if I invest this, and this, I'm going to be able to make this, and this. Look at this 20,000 that I started with. I've doubled it. So if I'm able to get 80,000 to increase this, I'm going to be able to do this. And I can pay you back. That word is very important. I will pay you back at so and so time. I'll be able to give you, if you don't mind, I can pay you 3 times back. I can pay you this, but don't just say, oh, there's this business idea, please, I need 100,000. Really? So what you're basically saying to the person is, dash me 100,000. You're not going to get the money. But that same person is funding other people. So look at the relatives around you that can do it. But don't come with an idea that you have not even tried out with your own money. Come with an idea that you have tried out with your own money and you can show evidence. I have nieces, but I want to talk about my particular nieces. There are 3 sisters, 3 of them. And the 3 of them, interestingly, just have varying interests. This one does makeup. This one does nails. And this one does hair. That's just how they're interested, what they like. Yes. So, my older sister said, these people at home, I wanted to give them money. I said, no. Why are you giving them money? She said, I just wanted to give them money. I said, no. Don't just give them money. Are you aware that this one likes this one likes this? Tell them you're investing in their business. and give them a specific amount. Ask them what they need to for as investment. Then follow up with them that if they do well, you will give them more money. But if you just dash them money, then you just, guess what? The one that does nails, you just this holiday, she did a 4,000 naira advert on Instagram. She didn't sleep after that. She was doing nails every day. She was doing nails every day. Everybody's buying her nails. She just sits down, she designs them. I don't wear nails, so but I mean she designs them, and she has so she will post those designs. She has different designs. People were just ordering, and it's not expensive. I think she sells them maybe like 4,000 naira or something. So you just stick it on. So if they see your nails, it looks like you went to a salon and you did it. But she just designed it by herself, and she sold out. As in, I said she literally did not sleep. Then the one that does makeup just graduated. She went to school on time. She was fully booked for makeup. She could barely do her own makeup in time for the graduation ceremony because she had to make up a line of people, you know. So the point I'm making is I'm trying to emphasize on the fact that do not do a business, do not go and propose a business you have not even tried out to another person. So now, my point is, if my nieces come to me and say, Auntie, can you invest 50,000 in my business? I'll invest because they've used their own money already to show that the business is viable, that they are, you know, by themselves. They started it by themselves. Nobody gave them money. They just used their own monies and started it. So do not go and ask for money, investment for a business that you have not even tried out with your own money. Now, borrow money before you need it is what we're talking about. And I said, let me divert a little and talk about borrowing money. Borrowing money before you need it. People in farmers will really relate to what I'm talking about. You know, farmers need some time to be able to have a produce to sell. Unlike people like us who are the end users of their produce. And we will get our own money faster than them. So the farmers, you're running a poultry, that's what I mean by farmers, animals, you know, normal farm. It takes a while. You need money to buy feed for the chicken, for instance. You already know these ones are grown. You are about to sell them out. You want to increase your stock. You don't have enough money. You can't wait until you've already finished selling, then buy the new one and have no money to feed them. That's what we mean by borrow money in advance. Borrow the money before you need it. Plan ahead. Reevaluate your business operations. You have to continually review your cost structure to find efficiency gaps and implementations that can be modified to increase your savings. I had an interesting experience some time ago. I had someone abroad say, please, I need snails and afang leaves. Can you help me, you know, do it? And I said, okay, like how much afang do you need? And she said, maybe like 15,000. I said, okay, no problem. So I just said, okay, people, we need to help her buy it in Onigbo. Because I know that afang comes to Onigbo directly from, you know, Akwa Ibom and wherever. That's where the landing is. And I said, okay, in your going, let us buy this and that. Remember that my business was operating mostly from my house. So it means that many things are mixed up in the business. You can just take afang and cook in the house, all those kind of things. anyway, we went to Oyigbo and I said, let us check out prices for other things. And my husband has always hammered, do bulk buying, and I tell him, I don't have space. Where am I going to put the things? I have no space. I'm always saying space, no space, no space, no space. But now we have our own place. We have our own dedicated freezers, so we have space. So I said, okay, let's check what we can order things. Oh my God, I felt so stupid. The money that we've been losing by not buying in bulk, we've lost so much money not buying in bulk. Buying in bulk just makes so much more sense than buying, small, this thing. So, not only are we buying in bulk, we have the things ready. So if you call us now, we are open till 3 p.m. If you call us now, you want this, it's ready in 3 hours because everything is in the freezer. It's just to remove and cook. So it did not only improve our savings, it improved our efficiency as well. So that's what I mean by you need to continuously review your efficiency. That's what that means. Reevaluating your business operations and closing gaps where you're losing money, where you're bleeding. Restructure your payments and collections. Now, this really applies to people who may not be able to collect their monies in whole or immediately, and those who also have what we call retainership. Example, you are a computer specialist, you have a retainership with a company to maintain those systems. If there's an issue, it is you they call to come and fix it. So the question is, how do you structure that collection? So if, for instance, okay, maybe I should go back to the farmers that I'm more familiar with. Most of the farmers would rather to sell to people like Spar, Market Square, the bigger people. But because it's also, those ones also run a structured business, payment is not immediate. Payment is not immediate. So that's what we're trying to talk about structuring your payments and your collections. So that is a collection for you, getting those money back for those things. Structuring your payments is find someone also as a farmer, for instance, who can supply you some of those things that you need and you pay at a certain time. Example, we have someone that we collect bowls from, the bowls that we use for our food, and I basically buy only from her. We only ever buy anything from anyone else if she does not have, and she's the one who will get it for us. We don't go directly to the other person. So most of the time, I don't pay her like immediately. I can pay her after a week, or whenever she calls for the money, then we pay her. So what that does for me is that I'm also utilizing it. So I'm able to take out, I've already recouped her money, in quote. It could have been my own money that I locked down. But sometimes, by the time she's asking me for the money, I've recouped half of the money already because I've already used half of the stock. So it's easy for me to pay her. I didn't lock down my money. So if you have someone, so that's what I mean. He says someone, yes, you have to be consistent with a specific person that you get your supplies from, or whatever it is that you're doing, so that the person, there's a trust that is built so that you're able to get an undocumented credit. That's what it's called. The person has trust. The person will give you and then give you maybe a week or two to pay back. It helps your cash flow. That way, your cash is not tied down. Monitor where your money is going. Monitor where your money is going. Examine your debt, your expenses, while you're monitoring your savings. Keep reserves of extra cash, not just for the hard times, but for when a growth opportunity comes along. Remember, I talked earlier about a growth opportunity, and specifically the one that I missed. I had money, I could have quickly done what other people were doing. Even if I did not import it directly, I could have bought from someone who had imported at a much lower rate and sold it. Yes, I could have done that. So, you need to monitor where your money is going. Monitor where your money is going. It's extremely important. Because of my business is now separated from home, I can see that I was eating half of my profit. You know, because I'm not buying anything extra that I'm cooking at home. We have carton of chicken. It's just to remove the chicken and cook. Meanwhile, it is money that we have. You know, just to remove the chicken and cook. We have goats that we have killed. We have caught it. We just take, like, let me just quickly take 6 and add. All that, you know, is money. So you need to, it's now that it's clear to me where my money was going, that I was going to, you know, the home front. Yes. Take advantage of technology. You know, it's amazing. I have to tell you people this story. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and when she was 16, she was allowed to go to wherever she wanted to go, meaning on social media. She can, you know, because she's now 16. So, my sister-in-law said to me, you better follow her everywhere she's going. And of course, I wasn't familiar with how these things work. Go to Instagram, so I followed her. So I registered on Instagram, so I could follow her on Instagram. Registered on TikTok, so I could follow her on TikTok. You know, I just went to as many places that I could go to. But my amazement was discovering that Instagram is $1 trillion business platform. It is $1 trillion business platform. It is amazing how much money you can make on Instagram. The first time someone ordered food from me on Instagram, I was so shocked. I was shocked that you mean that this person doesn't even know me, but this person is, you know, actually ordering. And the person did not order small, and the person explained that, her parents cook and not around. Is not around, or maybe something happened to the person, and that she desperately needs food, you know, for her parents. I said, okay, these are the issues. Do you cook specifically? I said, yes, we cook specific to order. She said, okay, my mother does not eat this, and my father does not eat this. What can you do? And I said, okay, we can do this for your dad, we can do this for your mom, and we can do this that both of them can eat. She said, oh, that's fantastic. And she just sent in her order, 80-something thousand. I said, just like that? Yes, just like that. So there's a lot of business on social media. Follow technology. There's a lot that is going on. Visibility. Remember I told you the story of my niece? Just 4,000 naira that she spent on adverts on Instagram. She didn't sleep again. She was doing nails from morning to morning, morning to morning. So, follow technology. What can technology do for you? It can do a lot. technology can do a lot for you in this time. In 2023, technology will help your business a lot. Now, I'll tell you a more interesting story. My younger sister called me and said, that someone convinced me to buy some blender. She said, can you believe that the blender is cutting ugu? I said, really? She said, yes. She said, but I think I can talk without it. And she said, I don't need it. I think you need it more, So I want to send it to you. I said, okay, send it to me. Okay, thank you. And I said, okay, send it to me. And she sent it to us. The joke now is that we are fully automated. My staff say that we are only looking for a washing machine now. But no, dishwasher now. That's all that. They don't know that there's actually a dishwasher. They just said that until we are looking for a machine that washes plates now. We are fully automated. It's incredible the number of time we spend cutting ugu, cutting water leaf, cutting when all these things were available. One hand were done. The thing cuts it in like, if you do more than 4 times, you can't know that it was ugu again. Just broom, that's it. Ugu is done. We finish cutting. Water leaf, we finish cutting. We are ready to move. So that's the joke now, that we are fully automated. If my sister didn't tell me about this thing, we wouldn't even have known that there's, there is something. So it is important to take advantage of every technology in your business space. Extremely important. Take advantage of every technology in your business space. Find out, is it possible? What is happening in this space? But there are many technologies that are available to make things easier for you. So when you see someone doing something, ask yourself, how is this person doing it? Find out. Something is available that makes it easy. Because the technology will also make your own unique. You can make your own unique by using technology also. So follow technology in whatever business space that you are in. Take advantage of it. Extremely important. Take advantage of it. Then finally, let loan be your last resort. Consider loan option to improve your cash flow, but let it be your last resort. Let it be your last resort. But taking a loan to improve your business is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. People run away from loans. People run away from loans and feel that you're going to be indebted, but it's not every loan that is bad. For instance, where we work, I tell everybody that works with me, don't ever save money to buy a car. Because a car is not an investment. It depreciates. It does not improve with time. And if you have to take a loan to buy a car, if you have to save money rather to buy a car, then make sure that that car is going to be used to recoup part of that money. But never save money to go and buy a car. Always look for a loan to buy a car. Look for a loan to buy a car. But don't save 5 million to go and buy a car. Don't save 10 million to go and buy a car. Especially for you to bring out your physical money that you have to buy a car. Make sure you have like 4 times that left. But it's not, car is not an investment. It's not an investment. Your car will depreciate. Even when it's a brand new car, it will start to give you problems after a while. So you're actually saving money to go and buy problems, basically. So if you have 10 million today, I'll just give you a small story of how you can make money if you had 10 million. As of September, GT Bank shares had dropped to 17 naira. Yesterday, GT Bank shares closed at 24 naira 80 kobo. September to now is how many months? September, October, November, December. Let's say 5 months. Let's do 10 million. Who has a calculator? Calculate it. 10 million divided by 17 naira. What is it? Say that again. 588. Okay. Do equals to, so that that number will stay. Then we'll multiply another times 7. That number times 7.
That's 4,117,000.
You could have made. Say that again.
4,117,000.
You could have made 4.1 million in 5 months if you had 10 million naira and you bought GT Bank shares at 17 naira and sold it yesterday at 24 naira 80 kobo. I didn't add the 80 kobo because the 80 kobo will be the charges you pay your broker. So why would you then take 10 million money that you saved to go and buy a car? You could have invested it, use the proceeds of that money to buy the car, but never ever save money and go and buy a car. Look for how you can invest that money to generate the money you can buy a car. Otherwise, take a loan to buy a car. So taking a loan is not bad. Not all loans are bad. But please don't take a loan to go and do wedding. Don't take a loan to go and do burial. Then you have just finished yourself, because what are you going to use to repay the loan that you used to do wedding, or the one that you used to do burial? There's nothing. So in conclusion, I hope I didn't exceed my time. Did I exceed my time? I didn't have a timer to check if I'm exceeded my time. So in conclusion, in the small business world, cash really is king. Remember, I've told several stories from my own business to buttress that point that cash is king. So when you're doing a small business, no matter what, it's important that you stay liquid. It's important that you stay liquid. An overall positive cash flow indicates that your business is primed for success. So keep those cash influxes coming. If you don't have a positive cash flow yet, then throw together a cash flow statement. Now, when I was writing this, I was asking myself, do I have to go and explain what the cash flow statement is? Or maybe I should just completely remove it to see where you can cut back and how to bring your business back in the black. You know, when they say your business is in red, it means you're not making money. You are losing money instead. So when they say your business is in the black, it means that you're making money. For the cash flow statement is basically to say, I should, considering this that I do, I should be more liquid. Why am I not liquid? There's actually a whole chart to help you check why you are not liquid. So please just use Google, check cash flow statements, and you will see, what your cash flow statement is and how to utilize that. Floor is open for questions. Thank you for listening.
Wow, thank you so much, now. You were talking about a healthy business. At what point is your business investment ready? I don't know how to put it. Like readiness for investment. Someone come and invest in my business. What you said was potent. I actually have a farm. And farm, we do rice processing, oil, and the rest of it. So when people come to how this money take, and I know that at that level, I'm not ready for what is coming, so I don't have it just paying the interest and all that. And what is the healthy or what's the advisable zero interest rate? Those percents, return on investment. What's the advisable? Because most times we tend to do so much more than our genuine capacity. So we can probably attract them or maybe keep them or something. And many a times, business around agriculture that does those kind of investment scheme fail. So I want to know at what point are we ready? What is the right kind of investments? And at which level will I say, yeah, I'm running a business? Because I may be just surviving, not necessarily thriving in the line at which you have said, running a business. And did I say all the questions? The last one, how do I crop unnecessary expenses, particularly family? I'm a married woman, and I just say, look, that's good for my husband. And something tells me you have the money in you. Just go. So do I want it? Yes, but how do I begin to, how do I mitigate my, is it appetite now? How do I crop it to ensure that I stay good for my business? Thank you.
Okay, so so you've asked me 4 questions. Right? 4 questions. So you're in farming. I have to ask you, what is it that you're doing as farming? I can't answer your question without asking those questions.
I can share.
Okay.
We have the rice processing factory, Farnor, where we buy paddy. We don't plant paddy because of the time.
What is paddy?
Paddy rice.
Okay.
Rice. The way it's grown.
Okay.
It's not paddy. So we buy it and we process. So we process restaurants, other states, people come in and buy because of the processing, what we have, the machineries that it comes as finer than the regular locally processed price. So what happens is people started coming. We know we were growing, but I still know that I'm not ready to take another person's money into my business. So I want level, was I just being afraid? Because some people were calling out, can we have this even from abroad to come to invest? But I know that it's better it's my money than somebody else's money. And when they come with huge demands. They tell you declare your liabilities or there's something they say some big things. And it's because of this small money. Just go. But then I know I'm just being afraid because if I could be courageous enough, I may be able to handle that.
So let me ask a question, another question. So because the question you're asking me, I really cannot answer it the way you may be expecting. Yes. So for instance, I'm going to make assumptions on numbers for me to be able to answer your questions, okay? So for instance, you invested 8 million to buy the machines that you're using to process the rice. My first question is, I will assume that you've been in business for 2 years already, okay? And so how much of the 8 million have you been able to remove from the business?
At the time investments were coming in, not so much. Right now I was making sales, but not completely recovered. In figures.
Because you have made a huge investment. That 8 million, you must start to bring it out of the business and not put it back. If you've not been able to bring out the money from the machineries that you've invested, it means that you have not broken even. You are yet to make profit in that business. So therefore, you should not take in more money. The only way you can take in more money is that you've been able to recover part, even if it's 50% of what you invested in the business. What I mean by that is, it's completely removed from the business. It's not part of your operating expenses. You've removed it out completely, you didn't put it back. Now, if you've been able to do that, it means that you're already making a profit. So you should be able to borrow money back from someone else now and pay a profit and retain that money that you invested originally as a backup for that business. So if you don't have a financial book, you're not going to be able to know whether you can take in more investors or not. Or, like you said, are you running around in circles and having activity but no money? Now, you saw something, you liked it for your husband. It's okay to buy, but the only way to do that is that let everybody earn a salary. The money you get is not your own alone. You, the business owner, earn a salary like every other person. So at the end of the month, pay yourself. After you paid everybody, you paid yourself. What is the balance? If there is a balance, take part of it out completely as part of paying back those investments, the machines you bought. Did you not buy machines for the processing? It costs something. So at the end of it, take out part of that money. Whatever is remaining, after you've paid everybody, you've paid yourself, what is remaining, take it out and keep it as repayment for that investment that you made, the machines that you bought. So this is a new year. It's a fantastic time to start what I've just said. Today is just the 14th.
Yes.
Good. So it's an excellent time to start what I've just said. So you must start from this year and have a financial. Then you're going to be able to tell whether your business is healthy or not. Remember, there's a question is, how do I know my business is healthy enough? So that's the only way. So if you don't have any financials, you must, from this year, start. There's a lady, remember we're talking about technology? There's a lady on Instagram, what's that her name? Chinwe something, Accounting Hub. She sells small courses on how to do financial data. Sometimes 2,500, 1,500, 1,000, but yes. So just buy those courses from her, read it. How to do your own financials. You don't need to go and employ anybody now. By yourself, see how you can do it. Start to maintain a record. What are the current expenses? You will have bags, right? To bag the rice. So that's a cost to you. So it means that if you buy 5,000 bags a month in bulk to keep, and in January you use 1,200, pay yourself back 1,200, the cost of 1,200 bags. It must come out that month. Do you understand?
Yes.
In the money that you have made, the cost of that bag, what you use to bag the rice, must come out before you pay yourself. Those are your operating expenses. The cost of diesel or petrol or whatever must come out. The cost of transporting the, what do you call it, pellet? What? Paddies. There's the transportation cost, isn't there? The cost of transporting it, whatever the cost were, it must come out from the main account where you collect your collections or whatever. You operate one. How many accounts do you have now?
Like
Bank account. How many bank accounts do you have?
2.
You have 2.
Yes.
You can separate the accounts, meaning that all payments go to one account. All payments, everything that is orders from customers must go to one account. Okay? Your daily operating expenses should also come out from there. Meaning that if you have to pay for transport, pay it from there. Whatever the cost of giving that customer that order, take it from that account. At the end of the month, it's time to pay salaries. pay salaries, including yourself. If your husband earns that is in that business, he too has to pay himself. Whatever is left, sweep it to the other account. Start the new month afresh. It's the only way you're actually going to be able to know if you are healthy or not. But I can't answer that question the way you can. Do you understand what I said?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So that's the only way you're going to establish if you're healthy, if you can take more investment, and if you're just running around in circles. Because it is what remains at the end of the month. That's what you know whether you make money or not. Is that helpful? Make sure you do it. Any other question?
One more question, if any.